We are with Lamin Kabba Bajo, President of the Gambia Football Federation. He is now also chairperson of a standing committee in the global body for football, FIFA. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Tell us about this appointment and what you're expected to do.
Thank you, Peter. Really, in the first place, I want to really thank the Gambian population, especially the football family, even those outside football. When the news broke, I really had a lot of messages, text messages, telephone, whatever. At least what people have seen in this is not Lamin Kabba Bajo, it's the Gambia. Of course, in the past, Gambians have served in FIFA and CAF committees. In the past, even myself, since 2014, when I came in, I was in the big soccer committee, and I also later on I get into the player status committee, and the player status committee also has been reorganized, and they have created what they call the football tribunal. And in the past 4 years, as we speak today, even today, I have a case to preside over, even though remotely. I'm a judge in the football tribunal. So all those things are honorable position, but having position of chairing a committee at that level really is a big honor for the country.
The grassroots and amateur football.
That's a big one. This is a new committee because FIFA has really expanded, increased the number of committees recently. Before Infantino came, it was bigger, and they streamlined it to about 9 or so. But now it's gone beyond almost about 20 or so. So it's a new committee, even without the TOR being released yet. But we can feel the task because as Uncle Baksure just said, everything has to do with the grassroots. The Western world and other parts of the world really are able to still maintain their superiority in football globally, and because of what they do at the level of the grassroots and football development. And we also did not lose sight of that. So you are also aware we are not, we are not really a backbencher when it comes to grassroots football development. We are very much involved. We work within Schools Football Association. They are also a bona fide member of the GFF. And we fund and support the nationwide football tournaments, and until we're able to reach and get the national team from the football schools. We're also working closely with the academies. I have a lot of academies here of different categories. The technical department, Sasandong and his team, plus including the regional football coaches. I'm sure you are aware that we have GFF have employed coaches across the country, all the administrative regions, like West Coast region and the Sierra, because of their geographic size, each are endowed with 2, and these are on fixed salary paid by the GFF, and North Bank has, Banjul, Scheme, and all those. And the idea is for them to collaborate at the level of the regional football associations and also the school, mainly with the schools authorities, to organize and also supervise this thing. So then that goes up to the pyramid, that's at the level of the National Technical Training Center. We are also running the FIFA TDS, Training Development Scheme, that has been launched a few years ago, and then the success, part of the success is the recruitment or scouting of players into the current under-17. And also we are also implementing the school for football. That's also a FIFA project, and many other grassroots football. So at least having that background in grassroots football development and finding myself to chair such an important thing, I really, as I already feel the tasks that lie ahead, and also the importance. My former coach, I also support Arsenal sometimes, but at least
Arsene Wenger.
Arsene Wenger, you know what he's doing with his team in FIFA when it comes to the talent development and the grassroots and much of it. And there are a lot of things, because you have these FIFA academies, you have the TDS, and we have a training also for coaches and other related football administrators. So by and large, it's a big task, and I'm sure myself and my colleagues in the committee
Do you know them yet? From what countries they come?
Yeah, I know a few of them.
Okay.
I know. There's a list that is already released. Already.
You started out by saying that you recognize what Western countries are doing for the development of football at the grassroots level, but a lot will be expected of you, especially from small countries like ours, mostly in Asia and Africa. Do we have the resources to be able to do what those countries, you mentioned at the beginning, are doing?
Yeah, we may not have the required resource in total, but I think gradually we're getting there because FIFA also, this project is very dear to the FIFA leadership.
So FIFA will part fund, if not entirely fund?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
Even like the talent development program and also the school for football, these are all funded by FIFA, amounts come in. And also FIFA also started, in fact, there's a pilot projects have already been inaugurated, like one in Mauritania, the FIFA academies that are going to be really, under the ambit of the federation. So these are also ongoing, and they also have their FIFA also, second development officers, coaches to some member countries to support and assist the technical departments in this endeavor to really to build the base. So all those things they're all part of the package. So certainly we may not have all the resources, but with support from FIFA, certainly we're able to move.
So your appointment is for you to serve the world, but of course here in the Gambia we will see it as an opportunity. So what opportunities does your appointment, this new position, chairman, grassroots and amateur football committee, open up for young Gambian players and coaches?
Yeah, it does, because one thing, I think I'll be for the challenge in the first place. We don't have any excuse now if the grassroots and amateur football of the country do not move to another level. That will be appreciated, to be visible, because he's the one there now. At least in Bonbon, I don't have the final decision on what, but at least I'll also have been forced to concentrate and give more extra attention to the area that falls under me. And as we said, we will really be in the center of things, that we actually know what's available. Sometimes some of these facilities are there, and sometimes you don't even know. A colleague will tell you, look, try this area in FIFA. You can have this, like this FIFA arena thing. It came through a discussion with a colleague, because some of these things are there, but you must really be, active and then involved. Sometimes they don't come publicly like that. They are there, but you have to consistent research and everything. So, and then from there, any other opportunity that will arise from this area will be first a knowledge for me, and then I'll be able to capitalize on it. And then I can also, as I said, we are doing a lot in the grassroots football in this country. It's never enough. Yesterday in my backyard in Brikama, there was an academy tournament on the 8th, just from a neighborhood in Brikama. You'll be surprised. You thought it's a Northern final. 16 teams were there. These boys, cannot just imagine the number of potential players or the number of player pool we have in this country at that level. So really we'll have to amass those talents in addition to the TDS and then the School for Football and also the Pan-African Football School Football Champions that's been funded by President Museve and his foundation. So be able to open up another area that we can really, amass the potentials that lay out there.
Okay, it's a two-pronged task: grassroots, amateur. Okay. So far, we've only focused on grassroots. What about our problems? Maybe grassroots football development. For other countries, maybe it's amateur football development. We're trying to professionalize, a section of our league, not the entire thing. So in terms of amateur football, what do you have to say?
I think
for your
as
task.
We are now, we are amateur. The football competition in this country is amateur, and with our desire to have a professional league at the top there, those things kill the amateur level. That we have been further challenging to even further work to ensure that the amateur is preserved and protected and developed and supported, because otherwise there could be dysfunction and negligence. So and neglect on negligence on their side. So we have to really work very hard to strengthen our domestic league from the regional third divisions to the second and the first divisions, both male and female. So those are important. The club licensing system, which is also very important to help clubs also to be better structured, because at the end of the day, they are the one that is the pyramid. They are the one who produce all these beautiful players. If you count the current senior national team men, a good number of them pass through our hands from our local clubs, from the Navetans, from the street football, and all those things. So it's where the deal is. So we'll also have to really, with FIFA and under this this particular committee, we'll also have to really work very hard to ensure that bit of that category of football globally is also developed, and by extension, in particular, in the Gambia.
Mm-hmm. And how much would you say, your leadership of Gambian football in the past 11 to 12 years prepared you for this new challenge? What will you take to this position, chairman of the FIFA Grassroots and Amateur Football Committee, that you could say, well, it's all thanks to, the Gambia Football Federation when I was president?
Of course, everything goes, all the credit goes to the Gambia Football Federation and the stakeholders the past 11 years. When we came in, we are no stranger. You knew how it all started. And it's been a long journey, rough often, but with resilience and dedication, commitment, and understanding of the stakeholders and the trust that we are able to retain from them. We're able to develop some knowledge and some experience, both locally and internationally. And in addition to what we're able to gather locally here, Gambian football in this country has moved really to another level, judging by where we are at 10, 11 years ago to today, at all categories, at all levels. And because that policy and strategic directives, that direction that I led over these years, can say really giving me a sound forte. And also by extension, my leadership of the West African Football Union Zone A, the past 3 years also, after serving, after interacting with the committee, and also where we are able to revive the WAFU. We all know I know at one time it was almost a taboo in the Gambia. But if you look at the activities, what organization, how the structure has been revitalized, and then we think that really and also being able to sit at the Kabba Executive Committee level as a zonal president and at different levels, I think really we'll be able to do our best. In collaboration with my other committee members. I know some of them, some I didn't know, but I know anybody in that committee is qualified enough to be there. So when we put our heads together. But for me, as I said, the credit goes to what I was able to build over the years as head of Gambia Football Federation.
And, we mentioned government involvement in funding football in this country, but I suppose it's the same for countries across the African continent, and to some extent also in Asia, which is where a lot more of the work needed, in the area of grassroots and amateur football is to be done. How much do you think your experience as a diplomat, a former diplomat, and now, a consummate football manager, how much do you think all that will come to play in your task of helping countries like ours develop football at the grassroots as well as their amateur football?
Yeah, I think it will certainly have an advantage because going through the list of membership of that committee, some of them really, if not good, a good number of them in football terms ahead of us in terms of development and other things. And as a country also in terms of available resources, some of them also, their countries are much more endowed than us. So interacting with them at that level, as you said, the issue of the little that I know in terms of diplomacy, we're able to...
Well, somebody who's been external affairs minister and diplomat.
So we're able to use part of that as much as possible to also link, to able to establish, where possible, bilateral relationship between our federation and some of them. So we already have one with Saudi Arabia, and at least it earned us a mini stadium all the way in Nyakoi. That's not a small achievement. We also, the one with the Moroccans, the reason why we are always excited to pack and go to Morocco to host our international matches there is because of the support that we receive from them. I can tell you, and I can tell the whole public, the June window that we played in Morocco, up to the last minute, we almost pulled out.
Why?
Because of the same funding problem. I had to literally go ask the Moroccans to beg them to take care of the hotel accommodation full board for us for whole that period.
So Morocco funded that bit.
Yeah, that bit of it. Oh, yeah. So if that
you're disclosing this for the first time.
Yes, yes. If that did not happen, there was no way that we could have gone. But that training camp, the 2 matches we played, really paid off. That's where most of the coach really brought in most of the youngsters came in. I think a good number of them were new, were started, and you see they had a draw and a win. And then from there, most of them have become starters in the so it was a good opportunity for us. But I'm saying what we are able to have from them, and we are in the process. It's a bit delayed, but it's very soon it'll happen. We're going to have the state-of-art artificial turf pitch in Bansang through the bilateral relation with Morocco, in addition to all the others that we had. So as you said, looking at the list, had already ticked. I can even tick, okay, this can be a good partner. When we meet at committee meetings, we can also talk about something that's between the two of us. So of course it will.
Without being seen to be too biased, do you intend to now use this FIFA position to advocate for even more for the Gambia? You are there for everybody. Guinea-Bissau should be able to say, well, we will also walk to Lamin Kabba Bajo and say, let him do this for us. Mauritania could come along. Djibouti could come along. But, Lamin Kabba Bajo is first and foremost a Gambian who's headed Gambian football for 11 going to 12 years. All right, will you use your position to advocate for more for the Gambia?
Yeah, of course, Peter, and without any prejudice to the other members of the committee. That's natural, because leadership also has its own advantages. Where that advantage can play without any discrimination or trying to disadvantage any other member, of course we will do. As I said, it's going to, in addition to real work, the possibility of more exposure, interaction with people and organizations and entities at different levels will pay dividend in terms of us also trying to see what we can achieve bilaterally.
Kaba, congratulations once again, and just any final message maybe for government, for fans?
Thank you.
For even the players?
Yes, thank you. For everybody, like the fans, number one, they are our engine. We feel very bad. I was telling somebody yesterday when we went to the beach soccer final in Banjul, that any time there's this FIFA window approaching, or we have an international match, there's no excitement. That's a reality, because the football element of it, it's not there. That's, what you want to do, you walk into that stadium, park field with fans and supporters, and then
it used to be like that.
That's it. Look at the last match we had, the day when we had that all important match against Gabon here, and also so that's not there. So we can feel their pain, their frustration, and desperation. So we want to really thank them for the resilience, and also apologize to them for all this what's happened all these years, and hoping that very soon we'll get back to the Independence Stadium, and maybe possibly a new stadium. It might not be Kabba's, but we know government also have plans to build another stadium somewhere. And also for the players, we also understand, appreciate the frustration. At least every player want to look around and see the banner with your fans club, or some people when you walk around Kaba, hey Peter, taking photos with them. Your family members have an opportunity, or people from your neighborhood, and then come here, spend a day or two, be able to do certain personal errands they would have done. We can see the frustration. We also want to thank them. Despite all that, we are able to reach this far. Most of the points that we gathered, the 3 points that we gathered, that's why we are fighting over bonuses, because we won, and we won all of them outside. That has not been happening before. So, but notwithstanding, we really want to indulge them for their patience and collaboration with us and the government. And for the government also, we've been talking about this, and then I personally interact with the minister very often. And recently also had the opportunity of meeting the President of the Republic, and we discussed 99% of what we discussed about football and what government is doing, what government can do.
He's an Arsenal fan.
He is, yes.
He lives in heartbreak.
He was so. No, we don't. We started, myself and him. We have a lot of familiarity from Walidan to Arsenal. So that's the reality. And then we really want to government to. We should have an innovative way of raising funds, and it will pay. It's an investment, because now if you look at the Gambia player pool in terms of professional, regardless of one's earning, but as long as a person leaves the source of this country, goes out, and the plane and being paid a monthly salary or allowance or weekly allowance in foreign currency, it's considered as a problem, because what is earning there or she's earning there he or she wouldn't have earned here, and it's impacting on their livelihood, and by extension also onto the national economy, because the central banks revealed to us all the time up to 28 to 29% of the of GDP is contributed from the diaspora, and I can tell you a good chunk of that comes from the Gambians. So government also should see. They supported, they welcome our drive to have a professional league. We have full support from government and collaboration. But the funding of the national teams, not only the senior national team, I think that should be another way, because it's coming from the levy, this telecommunication levy. Initially, the idea came up with, okay, maybe some people must have thought about it. I don't want to really offend anybody, but I remember when I was in office, it was the former minister Hadrame Sidibe who came up with the idea of it. But initially, it was for football. It's not fair. Football is not the only sport here, But later, it got into, because the ministry is also not responsible only football. They have youth matters, infrastructure. So that really, because you build a mini stadium and other things, part of the money from there, it's really, the ministry struggle to raise even 5 million for a particular match. I know, if this one had to go and try to via here and there. But if the government dedicate a separate budget line, and there's budget preparation going on now for support to national teams, and just close and put something there in addition to the levy, I think that will also reduce the price. Because I know what the ministry go through, what they go through. Even when they approve the amount, this 10 million, it's only that. We got information, you have 10 million, but even to access that money, it's us, we have to do the full soldering. From treasury to accountant general here and there. You have to run after skelter. Sometimes even the official, the team manager will stay here 2-3 days before he couldn't travel with the money. This one, the government official will go with the money, I think a day of the March or a day after the March. So all those things there. But we want them to the National Assembly to really have a special budget line that will help at least ease this burden. And then, as Uncle Mr. Ture said, then we can look what can you put in addition to what's coming from the consolidated fund, but what can come from the private sector and other entities. But otherwise, really, the spirit, our achievement would have been really curtailed, looking at the potentials that we have. But funding is key.
Kaba, thank you so very much, and good luck for the new job.
Yeah, welcome, and thank you.
Lamin Kaba Bajo, President of the Gambia Football Federation, Chairman of FIFA's new Grassroots and Amateur Football Committee.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
agsi la jàmm si Wave.
yow Ablaye yow lu tax doo dee dégg lu tax mënuloo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis hello xanaa lay waxaat
Bësal mu fay.
What?
Bësal mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave acts in Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave, Bësal mu fine. Wave, your money is yours.